it was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Well, there's definitely the young guys that in our meetups they want to save, and then I'm retired, and then but like you said, they're eating tuna every night, and I think there has to be, or we're gonna go crazy.
There has to be a balance.
People that are in relationships, like how do you keep staying in again tonight? You know?
Yeah, cause that's what I did the first 5 years. That's all I did. Like every penny that I came in, I would use it to renovate or buy another place. That's all I did.
That's where I'm at.
And that's
right
where you're
now.
at. That's where a lot of the other guys are at, right?
Yeah.
We won't say their names, but yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard just because, like, from my perspective, it's always just about maximizing my leverage, and so by having every red penny tied up is the way that I maximize leverage. But eventually, my thought process, no doubt, will evolve on that. Because it's sort of like the fact that I'm even considering selling this is already kind of showing that, right? Because like I've never sold a property before in my life, and
it feels good.
I'd always joke that I never would, but I can see how it's probably inevitable.
Well, they say the best time to sell a property is never.
Yeah.
Right? You're never supposed to sell. If you ever listen to Grant Cardone at all, you listen to Grant? Yeah, he says never, never, never sell. But, well, why not just do twice the deals, right? So you've got to learn to use other people's money.
Yeah, and that's definitely what's holding me back. Like, held me back in 2016. Hopefully, it won't be nearly the limiting factor it was for 2017. But, and like, hopefully, with some of these partners coming up with large quantities of money, will really help me get more comfortable with that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, the tours. That's really a lot of people coming out of the woodwork.
That was super cool, the tours.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily about that day. It's just the people are gung-ho Monday morning, and then they're like calling Matt, calling me, and like
so it could be. Where are you finding these people for these tours?
The first ones were probably like a good 6 or 7 people were like strictly in our network. Yeah. And then you get like, I try to bring in money partners too, people that didn't even know how.
You have a network?
Just from grinding,
That's cool.
Yeah.
So there are other investors.
Yeah, well,
it's slowly starting to evolve that way. Like, I think like a few guys came on the tour simply because they'd seen like our YouTube stuff, right, and reached out. A few were like
second and third.
Yeah, and then like friends of friends, right? And
parents want to come out, see what their son's up to. Maybe they have a ton of equity in their house that they want to use, but they don't understand.
You're an agent?
I'm an agent, but I'm a real estate investor first. So.
That's good.
And like we've been trying to like focus on growing that network more, right? So like we go to Lyric all the time.
Texts today, hey, I saw it on Facebook. I just want some more information. Like it's amazing. Like they're coming from everywhere.
And then between like Lyric and the Bigger Pockets meetup, and then just at the end of last year we started a new meetup group called London on Fire.
Right.
And so that's like our personal finance, early retirement, financial independence group. And so I think long term that'll definitely cultivate, I think, some potential joint venture partners.
It's a lot of millennials, like it's the young guys. We've had like some money partners that are a bit older show up on the tour, and then I think that's important too. Originally what I wanted was like 5 real estate investors and like 5 money partners, and then hopefully we can make some stuff happen, right? But seems like at the moment it's all the investors showing up. And like today's guy was asking like, well, I'm a new kind of buyer, is this for me or is it more for the experienced guys? I said to him, it's all for you. My experienced guys don't need to be on the limo tour. They're not overly learning anything crazy, but we're big on like building this network, the team.
So what do you do on the limo tours?
Just pick 6 maybe multifamily properties and
you go through them.
Yeah, so like usually we try and look at like say maybe 4 MLS listings. So far we've been lucky, and usually Jeff has like 1 pocket listing that we're able to look at, right? So something that's not on the market. And then usually we take a look at like one of my current projects. So like on one limo tour we stopped here and just walked around the buildings and I gave a quick spiel. One time we stopped at that Elias Street one that I did the BRRRR video series on, and like probably a month or 2 from now.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do that.
Yeah. And like it's actually really fun too, because like each investor gets really engaged, like because all of a sudden like everyone just starts talking, right? And it's like this energy level starts really developing.
The limo, we joked, it's a little bit of what I like to think is what we were just talking about, that glamour of being a real estate investor, instead of going around in Mr. School Bus, which you're linked probably to Sam's.
You do, because you got to feel, the energy.
The bonus,
right?
We've been on the school bus one, and there's nothing against that. It was just that some people ran to the back of the bus, other people sat in the middle, and some people sat at the front. you're with your buddy and you sit there and you talk. And then, but in the limo, it's like a mini office meeting, and then all of a sudden you look out the window, you're at the next property, and I give them like a binder, and it's just got the breakdowns and everything like that.
Well, you probably feel like a millionaire.
You feel like a baller.
Yeah, the neighbors when they're like, "What is going on here?"
That's right. You get out, you got a little notepad, take some pictures.
Because like there's been times where we've gone to like an open house and like we know that the other potential buyers were like, you could just see it in their eyes. All of a sudden, like they were scared and like they weren't interested in the property.
I guess the biggest one is me getting a listing from it. The seller was like, "You just brought 10 people to my property."
Yeah, that's cool for you. So you're almost double dipping, being the real estate agent. You get the sale out of it. Yeah,
no, I don't though. Like,
well, if
I do organically, we don't get back to the office after the limo tour and sit down and write 6 offers.
Right.
It's usually high five and see you later. And organically later throughout the year, maybe. All the tour is really meant to do is to get you out there. So many people are probably sitting at home being like, I want to be a real estate investor, and they don't know how. They don't have our network.
I think it's a great idea.
And like it's a good like first baby step for a lot of people that are on the fence, right? Because like it feels way less pressure than like calling up a single agent and being like, "Can you show me this single property?" You get to see a bunch, and it's with a bunch of other people. So like I know there's been like a few people that had never bought property before, and they just love hearing what the other investors are talking about, right? Like, "Oh, I'd make that a bedroom," or like, "Oh, there's no way this cash flows."
And you'd be like, "Oh, you can't knock that wall down," and people would be like, "Oh, really? Why not?" And then the conversations just keep flowing, and then, okay, I got the one listing out of it, but that's only because I don't know. I'm trying things in the city, and we're trying things, co-hosting this.
But like I don't know if you know like a agent in Sarnia that'd be interested in doing that, but like I think it'd be super cool to do something similar in Sarnia.
Yeah, I do. I probably do. Yeah.
Because like I know I would definitely tag along for one, and like I think a lot of our guys
work on that.
Too.
I could probably arrange it myself because I know starting like the back of my hand, so I could do it.
And then the nice thing is if you're trying to sell 1 or 2 of your properties, you just kind of throw those in too, right?
Sure, that's actually a really good idea.
So I think I went to 2 of my listings on property 1 or 2.
And like we went to one of Phil's, like Jeff's brother.
Yeah.
I went to a real estate seminar in Toronto once, and it's a 2 or 3 day thing.
Yeah.
And at the end so we analyzed property. They show us how to do that and stuff. And we were analyzing properties in the States. So we were doing that for fun. And at the end of this seminar, they said they were going to do this call in this house for sale. And, okay, sure. They do this live call. Everybody's in this class. There's about 40 people in the class. They do this live call. And it's a guy who has a house in the middle of nowhere in Detroit. Like literally, not even in Detroit, in the middle of nowhere near Detroit. This little wartime house, whatever, no basement, sitting on blocks kind of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's 25 grand or 30 grand, something like that. And everybody's all hyped up about this, buying a house. And then he's like, "Well, who's with me?" And then, nobody puts a hand up, and he's like, "Well, this is how you get into real estate." And then everybody starts putting their hand up. And I thought, "Holy cow, I don't want nothing to do with this property." Someone bought a property,
just off that,
off that. And the funny thing is, it even gets funnier. So someone buys the property, and he goes up to the front of the class, and they say, "So-and-so just bought the property." And then he says, "Do you want to sell your property?" And he says, "I don't know." And then, there was a lineup of people in the class who are now bidding on this guy's property. So he ended up reselling it 2 or 3 times in the class. And some fool at the end of this thing ended up with this property for $35,000. Crazy. So some fool in this seminar ended up with this property in the middle of nowhere in Detroit for $35,000 or something. I mean, it cash flowed, but it was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Interesting.
Yes.
That would be a weird environment to see that sort of mob mentality.
Really bizarre.
On those, you've never been on any of those, eh? Like weekends, and like rain's good. We're not really pushy, but like they really get people going, and then like it's kind of like the limo tour. That Monday morning of like I gotta go buy something, right? Like because it's really.
You people on the fence. It's time to do this, and you gotta go.
Which is not what our tour is about. It's really teamwork, and like if you're interested, sure, contact us.
Yeah.
If not, don't. It's fine. Like maybe we'll see you in a year. It's fine. And like the best part is people that aren't on the tour, they keep reaching out to me, being like, "When's the next one?" And maybe we'll never go on it, but it's just like.